Hello, students. I welcome you to the places in new session of the April month. So let us see. First, we'll see some word locations. We start with the Danube, Oder, and Elbe Canal. Okay, so this canal is being envisaged to be prepared in the Europe. Now you can see the locations. We'll discuss a lot of locations here. So starting with the first, we'll see each and every river separately. Then we will see these three sea and what they want to do basically with this canal. So very basic idea. So there are three rivers: Elbe river, or Oder river, and this is Danube river. So they want to connect these three river through a Y-shaped canal. Okay, so one can Y shaped one and like this. Okay, now some of the concerns have been raised by many of the environmental organizations. Okay, so starting with the Danube river. So let us see. So the origin of the Danube River lies in the Black Forest in Germany and it drains into the Black Sea. Now you remember the time when we used to do, like when you're reading the world geography, you must have done some of the rivers. So current affairs just provides an opportunity to revise them if you have not done at that time. So we'll discuss it here. So from the Black Forest to the Black Sea, so it is said to be, you can see, passes through many of the countries. So in fact 10 countries passes through, and it is the second largest river after the Volga river. So Volga river we have discussed while we were discussing the India Russia relations as well. What about the 10 countries and the maximum, which river crosses through the maximum country? It is the river Nile in Africa, which passes through 11 countries. Okay, so Danube passes through 10 countries. Second river is Oder river. So this river, you can see, starts from the Czech Republic, forms a border between Germany and Poland, and finally goes into the Baltic Sea. So just have to focus on few very subtle points from where it originates and where it goes finally. So goes into the Baltic Sea and is a part of the Poland German border. Okay, next is Elbe river. So Elbe river is, the source is in the Czech Republic. Okay, and from here it goes to the North Sea. Okay, right. So what they want to do basically, so we have all the three rivers. So this is Elbe river coming, it is the Old river coming, and this is Danube river coming. So they want to build this particular Y-shaped canal to connect all these three rivers. What it will do, so finally it will connect the North Sea, the Baltic Sea, and the Black Sea together. So connecting all these three, so making the European countries more navigable through waterways. Okay, so one of you must have read in the world geography or in the location factor that the success of the European countries lies in the extensive waterways that are there. For example, the success of the Germany lies in the extensive waterways. They are environment friendly, they are very cheap. So this is the final canal, right? Okay, then, so let us see. For centuries, European rulers have dreamt of constructing the Y-shaped canal connecting these three rivers, most of which is in the Czech Republic. So remember this Czech Republic. Okay, so this question can be asked. The canal intends to connect the Danube, Oder, and Elbe river, and thus provide a navigable link from the Black Sea to the north and the Baltic Sea. Right. However, it has been criticized by the many of the environmental organizations. This is the heading right from the WWF website. So what are the basically arguments from their side? So first of all, they are saying that it will increase the flood risk, right? A lot of environmental damage is there. They are saying that it is not feasible also. Why? Because you have to build around 70 locks. So whenever the canal system works, there are some sort of locks thing is there. You can see how the Panama Canal also work. There are a lot of locks are there because of the water level. For example, one river is at this level, second river is at this level. So you have to create some locks so that a ship coming from here can go to this place. So they're saying around 70 locks have to be built. Then they're saying economically cost is very much. The financial and the economic cost is very much. Then they are saying that even if it is constructed, the Y-shaped canal, even if it is constructed, then also there won't be a lot of benefits won't be there, because we already have many of the alternatives. The other alternatives may be railways, and other alternatives are there, other canals are there. So there is no need to construct this mammoth project where a billions will be spent for this senseless project, apart from causing a lot of environmental concerns. Then we see the Black Sea. We'll discuss about these three as well. So we have discussed many of the locations in the Black Sea. If you remember, we'll also discuss that. So starting from the Aegean Sea, Sea of Marmara, Black Sea, Sea of Azov, and the Kerch Strait. So Black Sea is an inland sea located in this particular area in the Eastern Europe, Southeastern Europe. Which are the countries are there? So you can remember it by the some sort of mnemonic you can make. You should make. This is one of the things I have created. So Georgia, Russia, Romania, Bulgaria, Ukraine, and Turkey. So these are 6 countries with respect to the Black Sea. Other locations that we have already discussed in our previous discussion, just for revision sake, I've kept. So this is Black Sea. This is the Crimea annexed by the Russia. This is Sea of Azov, and this is Kerch Strait. Okay, Sea of Azov, and this is Kerch Strait. Then starting from the Aegean Sea, then Sea of Marmara, these two small straits are there, very important straits. Dardanelles and Bosphorus Strait is there. Then this is the Black Sea. So you have to remember the 3 seas: Aegean Sea, Sea of Marmara, and the Black Sea, and the many of the straits there. So we have already discussed that. Just for the revision sake, I have kept it. Then next is the Baltic Sea. So Baltic Sea is positioned in the North Europe. So you can see which are the countries on it is bordered by. Starting from the here Sweden. Okay, Sweden capital Stockholm. We have discussed that in through the indexes and report also. Then after Sweden we have Finland. Then Finland we have Russia. Then Estonia. Then Latvia. Then Lithuania. Then we have Poland. And finally we have Germany and the Denmark. So these are the countries near the Baltic Sea, right? Then North Sea. So North Sea, that is UK. Then Denmark. Then Norway, right? Then Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, and France. That is there. France, Belgium is there. Now North Sea, we have already discussed the one dam also, if you remember. In February month, we have discussed one dam, that is Northern European Enclosure Dam, NEED. Very interesting dam, in fact, it is conceptualized. We have discussed that in detail. So it is against the sea level rise. So they want to construct the 2 dams, one from Norway to the UK and second from UK to the France, right? It will be one of the biggest projects, civil infrastructure project that will be carried out. Okay, so it's a Dutch and German project, and the cost is too much, and they are saying that it is such a big project, and it's gonna cost a lot of. If it is constructed, it can be one of the ways, or it can create a template for many of the other areas which are facing the threat due to the sea level rise because of the climate change. Okay, so I have discussed that in very much detail previously. Next location we're going to discuss is the Mekong River. So one of the recent study has come out, and it has said that the many of the dams that have been constructed on the upstreams of the Mekong, right, it has altered the flow of the Mekong River, and because of that, many of the droughts that are coming through are result of it. So for example, first of all, what about the Mekong River? So Mekong River is a transboundary river in Southeast Asia. It starts from China and finally drains into this particular South China Sea. Okay, so right, so which are the countries passes through? It passes obviously through China, then Myanmar, forms a boundary between Myanmar and the Laos, then Thailand, forms a boundary between Thailand and Laos as well, then forms a boundary between not here, yes, so forms a boundary between Cambodia and the Laos also, this much area, right? So it passes through these countries, so China, Myanmar, Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, and finally the Vietnam. So which is the dam it is in the question? That is the Nuaj Hadu, that is in the China. So this is the dam basically they are saying. So because of the construction of this dam, a study has said that the alteration of the flow of the Mekong River is happening. Okay. So with respect to the Mekong, we have discussed in our September month. So I'll be giving a lot of references to the previous month, right? so that it becomes efficient for us to discuss these things. But I'll be keeping the slides and I'll be discussing those as well. Don't worry. So we have discussed two of the organizations related to the Mekong. First one is Ayeyarwady Chowpara Mekong Economic Cooperation Strategy. Why it was important? Because India became a developmental partner in this. Okay. And second one is Mekong Ganga Cooperation, because India is a part of it. So first, Mekong Ganga Cooperation. So it has 6 members: India, Thailand, Myanmar, Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. Okay, so India, Thailand, and CMLV countries. So it established in 2000. The other is, it is a sub-regional organization, so consisting of the countries between Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Thailand, and Vietnam, apart from India. So India has also become a developmental partner in this particular organization. So what about India's case? When we talk about upstreams project, one of the problem India is facing is within the transboundary river is on the many of the dams that have been constructed by the Brahmaputra in the China. So many of the dams are there. For example, Jangmu, Dagu, Jigshu, and Jijia. You need to remember these names because they can ask you these dams are in the news or where they are located. Okay, so these are the dams which are located in China on the Brahmaputra river. And one of the problem between India and the China is they do not share a lot of water data, and that is why many of time floods come in the northeast because of that. So these are the 4 dams that is being constructed: Dagu, Jigshu, Jangmu, and Jiacha. If you can remember these names and you can replicate in your mains exam, that would be wonderful. Okay, right. Then we'll discuss some India places in news. Specifically, we will discuss some India-Nepal dispute. So in the April month, I'll discuss India-Nepal dispute that was there. In the May month, I have discussed completely India-China dispute. Okay, so that we remain convergent to it. So let us see. So what basically has been done? So Nepal's cabinet and then their parliament has passed a map of the Nepal. What they have done? So you can see earlier, just one second, earlier there is no this cake like piece is there. Now they have added this cake like piece to their map, and this is the new map that they have created. Okay, now what they are saying basically, they have increased this much territory which is already under India's administration, that they say okay, this is also included in the Nepal map, and obviously India has objected to it, and this is the current border dispute between India and Nepal. You have to understand 2 things. First of all, the context in which it is happening. 2 things means context, both for India and for Nepal. So as to understand why this dispute happened, you have to understand the context. From India side, context we will see. So India has created one road. Because of that, Nepal has done. From Nepal side, there is also a context. From Nepal side, the context is the political. So Mr. Oli, who is the Prime Minister in the Nepal, is facing a existential crisis for office chair and the accountability crisis and the crisis within his own party. Okay, and because of this, he is pursuing what is called territorial nationalism. Because you have read about that in Nepal, if you want to gain votes or if you want to rake up the emotions, you have to bring in the India issue. You have to play the India card in the Nepal to get the votes. So anti-India bashing it is called. So if you bash India, if you rake up issues with India, you will get sympathies in the Nepal. Okay, so this is the context. What about the Indian context? We'll see. So first of all, we'll see this particular portion. So this the three vertices of this cake is, first is Limpiadhura. Okay. Second is Gunji, and third is the Lipu Lake Pass. And this is the Kalapani dispute. Now this Kalapani dispute is not old. Kalapani dispute is not new. Kalapani dispute is not new. So this is already a disputed area. Now what is currently Nepal has added, or what we say Nepal has become more belligerent when they have added this much also to the disputed category, and this was not disputed earlier. This is already disputed, but this was not disputed earlier. Now Nepal says now this is also disputed. So we'll try to understand what is the Nepal's claim. Before that, we understand the context from the India side. So we have understood context from the Nepal side. Now we'll understand context from the Indian side. So India has built one road from the Dharchula to Lipu Lake. Now, according to India, it passes through Uttarakhand in Pithoragarh district, so it is a part of India. No issue from our side. But Nepal says no. This road, first of all, pass near is near Kalapani, and it is near the this wedge thing, this Limpiadhura, and this is why you have not consulted us. India has not consulted while constructing a road in this disputed area, and because of that Nepal has objected to the inauguration road. They have registered their grievances to India, but Nepal has said India has done nothing to alleviate our grievances, and hence we are making this new map, and they have ratified that map. Getting my point? So some scholars also say that it is the wrong thing done by India, that they have done it unilaterally. They should have considered the sensitivity of a smaller neighbor, and especially when the things are not fine in our neighborhood, especially with respect to China. So you can see new road with respect to Kailash Mansaro runs into the diplomatic trouble. Now, if you remember, when I was discussing the culture portion of March, I have discussed the Kailash Mansarovar Yatra, and I have told you that I'll discuss this issue when I'll discuss India Nepal border crisis. So we discuss about origin of the border dispute. So origin of the border dispute, we have to go back to our spectrum book or our modern history, I'll say, that when the British time. So when British were dealing with the Gorkha, whose time was that? If you tell me, it was the time of Lord Hastings. So Lord Hastings was there, and he has to, Gorkhas were becoming very aggressive. Sorry. Gorkhas were becoming very aggressive. So finally British subdued them, and they signed the Treaty of Sagoli between Nepal and the British East India Company. And they have decided that Nepal and India, the eastern boundary will be decided by the Kali River. Right? So it was decided, okay, Kali River, we will make it as a boundary line. Okay, fine. Now the devil lies in the details. The subsequent maps by the British surveyor, and they have done the thing that they are famous for. Some selfish reasons, they have changed the map. Now we will see what they have done so as to understand. So if we talk about the Kali River, so Kali River till this point, Mahakali River or the Kali River, till this point it is fine. Okay, it is fine that this is the river, this part is Nepal, and this part is India. However, there comes a point like this, from where there are two rivers. One is this stream and one this stream. One goes to the west and one goes to the east. Okay, please keep your attention here. So if you see on the west side, and this is from this particular river only, west side the major river is there. So major river is there, and this is a very minor thing is there. And this is the singular line. Okay, this is the river coming, tributary, and they are not tributary, like this. Okay, now it is said so this is one source 1, and this is source 2. So earlier what Nepal will consider, earlier British considered source 1 as the real source of Kali. So when they will consider S1 as the real source, so the territory of India will be here, and the Nepal will have this much territory. Don't you think so? Right? So this is the current claim of the Nepal. So they say that till Limpiadhura is a source 1, and that is why this is the Nepal territory. Very easy. And it is true also. Why? Because the Kali River has predominantly, you can see the size of the river. In the west, it is a major river. East, you can see very small water is there. So geographically Nepal's claim is right. Okay, that the east of the river is Nepal's territory. Okay, fine. So this is what you can see 1827 map also. British doing the right thing. So they are saying that okay, this is the west side, and this is the east side. This is Lipu Lake, this is Limpiadhura. and this is the major border. Okay, British said okay, and this is the major border. But later on, British realized that we are losing out a lot of territory. They are saying that if we do this, we will lose out on Lipu Lake, with which British wanted to do the India-China trade. At that time, India Tibet trade, British India and Tibet trade. So they said no, no, no. Then they again revised their map. You can see this map in 1860s or 1870s. They said no, no, this is the real line, and they have abandoned this line. So the British themselves have changed the line. When they done this, then this became the territory of India, isn't it? Until that time to 1997, this is being the status quo. Why? Because from 1950s, when the Nepal also became independent, the Maharajas of Nepal, they also consider this as they have not raised this issue with India. Finally, 1990s, when the democracy in the Nepal came, then people started questioning this. They have seen the old maps, then they have questioned all this. Okay, so for so many years, India has been administering this particular area. Now we will see some issues. I hope you understood. If you have not understood, please see the video from behind. So in 1996, we have signed a Treaty of Mahakali, and we have made this particular Pancheshwar multi-purpose project. We will see that. But the issue of the Kali River was raised in 1997. The issue was raised to the Joint Technical Committee. Okay, fine. We will set up a committee. We will see to it. We will finally decide which is the origin, and finally we will decide. However, they have not been done. Only 98% of the territory has been clarified, and some of the things are remaining, which are still pending at the Foreign Secretary level. Okay, and this is where the dispute lies. So the question is, whose claim is rightful? So if we talk about geographically, as I've explained you, so West River, West line is more predominant. So this should be the source, Limpiadhura should be the source, and Nepal's claim seems right. But if we talk about historically, administratively, then India has been administering this particular area, and the Nepal does not seems to have right, because you cannot claim that people who were before you in the governance, you cannot object to it, isn't it? Because Nepal was a sovereign country after 1950. Secondly, it is more seems to be an area of the territorial nationalism rather than any other thing. Thirdly, it is also very strategic area with respect to India and Tibet, India and China, India with respect to the China. It's a very sensitive area. So Nepal should also respect the strategic implications of the area which is there. Okay, right. So let us discuss this Pancheshwar multi-purpose hydel project. So it is there. You can see very Kali River, which is deciding the boundary. You can also see this Kali River, which is deciding the boundary. Okay, so this is right at the edge. So this is it is a joint project between India and the Nepal. Then Lipu Lake. So Lipu Lake is there. You can see it at the tri-junction of the China, Nepal, and India. Right? It's a high altitude mountain pass at the height of around 5,000 meters, and international mountain pass between India, China, and Nepal. In 2015, in fact, in 2015, there was an agreement between India and China to consider trade through Lipu Lake. To consider trade through Lipu Lake. So in a way, de facto, China also recognized that this particular area is under the Indian territory. Okay, that this particular area is under Indian territory. And at that time also, in 2015 also, the Nepal had problems with both China and India, that how you have done it unilaterally, why you have not considered our position into it. So Nepal was against China also at that time. Okay, and this is one of the arguments given by the Indian side also, that 2015 we have done this particular agreement, so China has said to have this territory into the, according to China, this territory belongs to India, then only they have done this particular agreement. So now we are done with the majority of the disputed area with respect to India Nepal. One more disputed area is there, Susta in between, but that was not in news because the in news was this area only, this cake shaped area, and we have discussed that. Then Sariska Tiger Reserve. So Sariska Tiger Reserve was in the news because 13th session of the Ministry of Tourism's Dekho Apna Desh, which is a part of the Paryetan Parv. Paryetan Parv we have discussed in our ministry, tourism ministry I have discussed. So ministry series we have discussed. So Paryetan Parv, part of Paryetan Parv Dekho Apna Desh is there. So they have decided to have this particular webinar, and it is Sariska. So details about Sariska Tiger Reserve. So it is from our Tiger Reserve series. Sariska Tiger Reserve, part of our Rajasthan, comprising of the arid forest, dry deciduous forest. It is the first reserve in the world which successfully relocated the tigers, right? So 1991 Supreme Court put a ban on the mining in this area. Some of the monastery, for example, Viratnagar monastery is in this area. So how questions come basically? So they will give you some details about some details, and they will ask you, okay, identify this particular tiger reserve or identify this particular protected area, and the questions are like this. Okay, more or less you will identify the information from the provided information. What about in Rajasthan? So apart from Sariska, we have also two other tiger reserves. So next is Ranthambore and third is Mukundra Hills. Okay, so three tiger reserves are in the Rajasthan. Those students who are joining us now in this particular series, I'll suggest them, please see the Tiger Reserve series that is there on our YouTube channel. That's a wonderful series. You will understand a lot of points, and you will see the past 3 to 4 year trend that 1 to 2 questions have been asked from that particular. You are able to solve 1 to 2 questions from that particular series itself. Okay. So let us revise and quickly finish this particular session. So we started with discussion of the Danube, Oder and Elbe River. We discussed in detail about, we discussed briefly, that is required for us, about the Danube River, Oder River and Elbe River. Remember that which river is the left and which river is the right. Okay, so for example, Elbe River is at the left and Oder River is at the right. Then we've discussed area Black Sea and the related straits and the seas, Baltic Sea, and finally the North Sea also. Then we discussed about Mekong River, the dam that was in the news, and some of the dams that have been created on the Brahmaputra. Then we have discussed the India-Nepal border dispute, India-Nepal border dispute. We have discussed Limpiadhura, Gunji and the Lipu Lake, and in between the Kalapani dispute as well. Then we've discussed what was the context provided at the Indian side, that is the Darchula Lipu Lake Road. That is, that river, that road is being built. Just one second. As I've already told you that that road has been built to reach Mansarovar, Kailash Mansarovar. Okay, that will create easy pass for the people who want to go to the Kailash Mansarovar. Then we've discussed Pancheshwar multi-purpose hydel project. Then we discussed Lipu Lake Pass and Sariska Tiger Reserve, and we've discussed some of the tiger reserves in the Rajasthan as well. Okay, then with this we finish our session on the, just one second, we finish our session on the places in news. This is the 11th month, right? April month. So we have discussed a lot of places in news. So what I'll suggest you, download the PDF, revise from it, and keep revising, right? Even if some students are in the mains mode, but don't leave your prelims preparation, because prelims is gonna be this time very tough, because a lot of time is there with the aspirants to prepare. Okay then, see you in the next class. Thank you.